Hey everybody, happy Sunday. It is Elsa932 on YouTube. How are you doing this Sunday? It is a holiday Sunday. I don't know about you, but I am definitely, how can I say, chillaxing. I'm going slower than normal on a Sunday because it's a holiday Sunday. I've been home since Thursday. So, going, I think I have to go into the office tomorrow. Ooh, that's going to be difficult, but say hello. Hi, how are you? Thank you for coming to the channel. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure your notifications are on because we are doing big things around here. And one of the big things I have to thank everyone is that my project Runway Meet the Designers is my highest viewed live since I started this last year. I think it was last year. It is my highest view live. Actually, I have more viewers than I have members of that live. So please, if you are coming here, you are viewing, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. It is free 99. It is much appreciated. We're doing lots of things here. We will be, as I said, doing Project Runway. It will be live because I want your voices heard too. Did you think the judges were right? Were they wrong in your opinion? It ain't going to change nothing for the show, but you're going to have your say here. Also, I do a video on Alone, the survivalist show. I can't go out there hunting. I don't know, I know some, but I don't know the first thing about making a fire without, the flint. So I am fascinated by everything I learn about these regions and how these people out-survive each other, in these hazardous conditions. Hey, Debbie, glad to have you here. Glad to see you here in the chat. So yeah, for me, Alone on the History Channel, and the History Channel actually put it behind a paywall. Unless you go, sometimes online you can get it for free, but if not, I am here to give you Alone in all of its glory. Hey, shApp, glad to have you here. Here to go Africa and Moondust Angel. Thank you all for being here. And those of you who are in the bushes, that's fine. That's okay. We're nice around here. We don't bite unless you ask us to. But just hit that like and let's get to rolling, because here is where Unsolicited Advice, I pull all of the people asking for advice and I bring you certain excerpts here. And in the chat, we give our unsolicited advice. Though they have asked the internet, they did not ask us specifically. Or as Trey Mack would say, pacifically. Moondust Angel, I am in Georgia. Where you saw the unfortunate flooding is in Texas. And yes, I did see the news and all of that information. But also on this channel, we really don't talk about the direct headlines in the news. But sometimes, the things that we pull for this segment will touch on what's going in the news. We're not talking about a certain trial. We're not talking about, who had a run-in with the law. But we definitely will talk about things through unsolicited advice. Okay? Hey, Just Rhonda01, glad to have you here. Y'all, Just Rhonda01 gives you everything housewives on her channel. She has wonderful interviews from the Ready to Love folks. So please go check out her channel. Yeah, thank you, Moondust Angel. Y'all, we have 6 today, and I want to keep this to an hour. And we're going to get a little shady today. We're going to get a little shady with a few of these. So let me play this at the beginning.
I hate to be shady unless I really have to.
Yeah, I hate to be shady unless I really have to. Hate to be shady unless I really have to. So let me go pull up the first one we're going to talk about. Okay, this is our first one. Oops. Okay, I think I got it. This is our first one. Yep, 49-year-old male and 49-year-old female been together for a year. Met my boyfriend's friends and inappropriate jokes were made. Been seeing this guy for a year. He's actually a really good guy. Met his friends and his family over the past couple of months. Most are great, but two incidents happened, both from different groups of friends. Both were after the guys were wasted. Not an excuse, but laid it all out there. First was an inappropriate touch while the guy was trying to be funny, and I told him don't ever do it again. He probably doesn't even remember, but for the most part, he was nice and friendly until this happened. So I let it go. I let it go since he's childhood friends with my boyfriend. Fine. Couple weeks later, I met a new set of friends at my boyfriend's pool party. 5 minutes after meeting this guy, he was joking. He jokingly says, 500 for the night, question mark. I laughed it off and said, you couldn't afford me, ha ha ha. Then a few minutes later, in front of my boyfriend, he says, how about 2,000 to serve us without a top on? I was like, okay, fool. Okay, D-head. You know, I didn't say that, but my boyfriend and his friends were wasted. I played along for a minute, then left the scene and left the party. Next day, my boyfriend asked if everything's okay, and I said, do you remember what happened? He kind of did and said they were just joking around. I have not replied to him. I'm very disappointed in his reaction. He doesn't know about, the first incident, but this is all building up for me. It's not my boyfriend's fault. I'm not breaking up over this, but daggone it, I'm really turned off. Has anyone had a similar experience? Okay, when are we ever not shady? Hey, Miss Mad About Music, glad to have you here. This is not a joke, and being drunk is not an excuse. If you know that you can't handle your drink to the point that you say stupid things when you need to give up the drink and start living in the real world, then again, I'd never be with a man who has friends like that because this is disgusting, and the fact that he doesn't probably think so is worse. Right. He wasn't there, but he was there for one incident. And that one incident is enough to really question your friendships. And we said they're both 49. Y'all realize that? It's a 49-year-old man and she's a 49-year-old lady. Why are we acting like we're in our 20s? Why are we behaving like this is 20s? Why are we wasted? Wasted, I know, is 20 behavior. 20-ish, early 30-ish behavior. But by the time you got a 3 in front of your age, I usually expect you to behave a little bit better. But 49? We almost 50? And we getting wasted and your friends are acting a fool and you can't remember half of what happened the night before? Yeah. This whole scene, you say, young lady, that you are not done with him. You're not going to break up over this. But this is not 49 behavior. At a sensible age of 49, things like this really shouldn't be happening anymore. It's more childish stuff that happens in your late teens and early 20s. Exactly. 49, stop. That's how I heard it in my head, just Rhonda. 49, are we grown or are we not grown? 49, usually this is not a slight on anyone who does not have this type of, family. Usually at 49, we got kids, we married, whatever. We didn't hear about kids or anything. But 49, now I am not at 49 yet. Okay, y'all? I am not. I am in my 40s. I'm not 49 yet. But I am not playing these kinds of games in my 40s. I have not been. I'm sorry. I haven't played these kind of games even in my 30s. So I don't understand. At 49, lady, you need to exit stage left. Because if his friend could tell you that in private and then he want to up the price with an indecent proposal, this is not a movie. This is your life. What is to stop this friend from cornering you and then blame it on the alcohol, okay? I don't play these types of games. Drunk is no reason to cross the uncrossable lines. Had she cussed on sight, they would have sobered up. They would have sobered up immediately. I don't think they would have sobered up after I had a little chat. But again, we're 49 getting wasted. Even if it's at home or somebody's home, a get together, we are 49. We are 49 soliciting your friend's girlfriend. 49 is never appropriate to solicit, of course. But these are grown men. These are grown men in their 40s. So while young lady, you're saying you're not going to end the relationship, I would. There's no way a 49. Hey, K Sharp, glad to have you here. There's no way that I'm 49 and my 49-year-old man and his friends are wasted and I'm being solicited in front of him. I'm being wasted. They're being wasted and I'm being solicited in front of my boyfriend. And then he brushes it off because, it's the age old, and I cannot stand it. Boys will be boys. Well, guess what? At 49, y'all ain't boys. Y'all are grown men. Sober up. Sober up. I don't like it at all. So y'all, please, there's an audio delay. I think there is. My audio is delayed for a little bit. Please bear with me. Please bear with me. StreamYard did an update, and their update isn't always, how can I say it, really up to date. So y'all, please put your unsolicited advice in the chat. Let me see if I can fix this audio. Let me see. Maybe it's going to be better this time. I just did a little snafu there. So let me go to the next one. Thank you for letting me know about the delay. Let me go to the next one and let's see what advice we can give. Let's see what advice we can give for the next one. What would you do in this situation? I think my 30-year-old boyfriend, I think a 30-year-old female and my boyfriend, 31-year-old male, accidentally texted me. It happened the other day. I didn't think much about it until now. My boyfriend and I have been living together for several years. Yesterday, I got a text from him about 6:30 in the morning saying, "Good morning," and nothing else. Well, this is strange because we literally slept in the same bed together. Why would he text me that? I've also briefly seen a notification pop up on his phone from a woman. I believe she is a friend of a very good friend of his, friend of the family. So it could be nothing. I don't know. I just thought the text was very odd and I can't stop thinking about it. So she's 30, the boyfriend is 31, and he accidentally texts "good morning" at 6:30 in the morning. I don't know about you. I'm not texting my good friends at 6:30 in the morning. Okay? I'm not texting my good friends at 6:30 in the morning. Thank you, Moondust Angel. That is way better. Just needed a little on again and off again. But really? Really? Hey, Bible lady. Glad to have you here. Glad to see you here. Y'all can cut up in the chat. Y'all know how we do. So she's 30. He's 31. 6:30 in the morning, he sends her a good morning text. She's like, we slept in the same bed. We do sleep in the same bed. We've been together. But she saw a notification from a friend of his, a very good friend of his, a woman. So it's like, now, I don't know. And y'all please school me. Do you text your good friends at 6:30 in the morning saying good morning? I don't. I have a girlfriend that if you text her before 9 a.m., she wouldn't even answer you. She on do not disturb from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Do not even try to reach her after 9 o'clock. And she's very upfront with it. Between 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., I'm your friend. After that, beyond those hours, I don't know you. If you don't ask him about this, you're always going to wonder and drive yourself mad, which is not the point. Just ask him. See what he tells you. See if he seems dishonest. And if he does seem dishonest, I guess then leave. So I'm not sure. The good morning text I know was dating. Dating. You know, the good morning text I know is dating stuff. I don't know about y'all, but I don't see anybody telling me. Do you text your friend good morning at 6:30 a.m.? The Bible lady said, I am not texting anyone good morning. I guess not at that time. Not at that time. I'm not texting anyone at 6:30 in the morning. The only person I get an email from me is maybe work letting them know, hey, I'm not coming in because I don't feel well. And before I roll over and go back to sleep, you getting this email at 6:30 in the morning. But good morning? That's fishing to see what you up to. What are you doing? Are you awake? That's what that is. I receive them from friends and relatives to go to Africa at 6:30 in the morning. Good, just good morning. Wow. Okay, that's a little different. That's not my lifestyle. I know that's usually, back in the dating world. That's are you awake? What you doing? You up? Can we chat? That's what that is. It's kind of like the Grand Rising Queen. It's kind of like that for me. Just good morning. Mm-mm-mm. Not that you also receive phone call to go to Africa. You need that do not disturb. Like I have do not disturb, and only the people who live in my house are my mother and sometimes my grandmother, because she could call at all hours. That's the only people I could get through my do not disturb. I'm not texting anyone that early, and I'm on do not disturb. Only person texting me good morning that early, unless they are bumping cuties. You better tell them. Unless we're bumping uglies, we ain't texting at 6:30 in the morning. Unless we're friends and relatives of to go to Africa. Okay, not the same as getting a good morning message creepily. I know, but you sending it to your woman that you laid next to. shApp says it's not enough information to tell. She said, let us not jump to conclusion. Usually Lindsay is here as our advocate, and shApp is trying to reel me back saying, hey, it's not enough information to tell. They know that I will respond if I'm awake or not busy. You are good to go to Africa. If I'm awake and the phone is in my hand, I'll see it. But if I'm not awake, I'm usually awake, but the phone ain't in my hand. I'm not going to receive it. I used to be like that younger, and then my friends would, butt dial me or anything. Does he have a bad crink in his neck? I'm not sure if he has a bad crink in his neck. You mean, well, that's where shApp is like, we need more information. So maybe the bad crink in his neck is one question, but you got to ask him. You got to ask him, or maybe just don't ask him. Sometimes I like to tell y'all we don't ask. We just watch and wait and just gather information. And this is one of them. Gather information. I'm gonna wait and see if I get another good morning. I'm gonna wait to see if I get another, a pop-up on your phone and I see it and it's that girl, that friend that's a girl of yours at 6:30 in the morning. That's a hey big head text. Hey there, what you doing? You up? I'm up. Can we get together right now on the phone? Put on your video chat. Maybe he can't turn to say good morning and needs to text instead. Moon Dust Angel, get out of here. Maybe he can't roll over and say good morning. You got to send that text. We ain't believing that. We ain't going for that. Y'all, please put your unsolicited advice in the chat for her and in the comments below. Because what we have here is we're telling her, hey, girl, hey, have a conversation. Or in my case, sit and watch. Watch and see what he does. So y'all, these things are mild and get to spicy. We go from mild to spicy. So we're going to go to number 3. And the last one is usually the spiciest of them all. So welcome to everyone who is in our chat. This is your first time here. We're glad to have you here. And let's get to this. How do I get over being uncomfortable that my 24-year-old girlfriend is hanging out with her guy friend? Now, he's a 24-year-old male. I've been with this girl for almost 3 years now, and everything has been amazing. She's been caring, sweet, loving, honestly, someone I would love to be with for a long time. She has this friend that she met online during the pandemic. She mentioned him a few times, but early in the relationship, she would refer to him as a friend. Well, I'm going out with a friend later. While she would be comfortable using her, other friends' names like, oh, I'm going out with Mark later. Recently, they went on a trip together for a weekend, just the two of them sharing the same hotel room. I brought up how I was uncomfortable. I was about the situation to her before the trip. She tried to ensure that nothing was going on between them or ever happened between them, and still went on the trip anyway. I was frustrated during the trip, but she kept updating me and trying to talk to me, and even showed me pictures of how she slept on the couch while he slept in the room. Honestly, that trip almost made me break up with her. But after a heart to heart, she came back and she assured me again that nothing is going on between them, and I made a decision to trust her. They've still been hanging out. Every time they do, it makes me feel sour. Now she said that, they are going to the beach together tomorrow, just them two. I've asked her to be more open and transparent, of them hanging out, which she's doing and letting me know about their hangouts a day before. But I still don't know how I feel. Yeah, Baba Lady, I'm a store up in the memory bank. Hey, Miss Boogie Down, glad to have you here. So y'all, he said, they're both 24. He said he don't know how to feel. He said he don't know how to feel. She got this friend that she met during the pandemic, a male friend, and he don't know how to feel about them going off on a trip together, having one hotel room, and he don't know how to feel. He's like, her other male friend, she names them Mark. She calls their actual name, but this one is just, a boy that's a friend. He's a friend. But we share, a room. I wouldn't be comfortable with my partner doing that with anybody, even if nothing does happen, because if nothing is really going on, they don't need to be hiding and trying to do everything alone. Do we know if the man friend is gay? We don't know. But would he really feel that intimidated if he was? He might. He still might. I'm with you, Shaby. Whether the male friend is part of the Rainbow Coalition or not, I still think he will have a problem with it. He may just look better looking. The friend just may look better looking. Why is he threatened? So why are you threatened? He already feeling the boy move around. He is just, what is it that's wrecking his nerves about this male friend? Maybe because she met him during the pandemic, but I'm like, how did she meet him? How did they continue their friendship? It had to be over the phone. So now we're taking trips together. So here's my other question. Sir, why aren't you going on trips with your girl? I'm just saying. Why aren't you going on trips with your girl? You have a problem with her going, away, having a hotel room sharing with her friend. Why aren't you going to the beach with her? Why is she making all these plans and you are out of it? You can't be working that much in the day and night that you can't go to the beach and say, you know what, hon, go with your friend. I'm gonna meet y'all at the beach later. Because I got work and whatever. I do want to come to the beach, but I can't be at the beach all day. But I'm gonna come hang with y'all. I'm gonna come hang for a few hours. So go with him and just be prepared that when you return from the beach, we just gonna go out and have something to eat or something. He caught up with the friend and he ain't caught up with his girl. He might have a problem with it if he can't afford to go on these trips and may not wish to say it to anybody. Right. That's okay if he can't afford to go on the trips. Okay. He can't afford to go on the trips. But he can afford probably to drive down to the beach. Can't we? I'm not about to feel uncomfortable and allow anyone else to feel uncomfortable. The moment I start feeling uncomfortable, all bets are off. Right. If I'm uncomfortable, Because imagine how he's making the girlfriend feel uncomfortable now, because now she got to tell him every time ahead of time, like if he's the parent and she's got a curfew and she got friends that he said she can't hang with. It is sounding too much like he's going over the deep end of controlling. It sounds like he's starting to go on the deep end of, I'm going to control everything you do. And it may start with just this one friend, and it's a slippery slope. We're not saying this is what he does. We have not heard that. But I'm wondering why we can't go to the beach. Why is she making plans with this friend rather than plans with you? It's okay, you can't go on trips right now. Maybe you don't have the vacation time. Maybe you don't have, the moolah, the money, the dinero to go on these trips. At least you could drive down to the beach. And even, hey, heck, in some cases, you could catch a bus to Destin and spend a day at Destin from Atlanta. There's a bus, or at least used to be a bus, that you could catch like early in the morning, that 6:30 good morning text. You could be on that bus, sending that text, heading to Destin. And then I think the last bus comes back at 8 p.m. and you could just spend a day at Destin if you don't have a car. If you don't have a car. If we aren't going, you aren't going. Okay. If we aren't going, you aren't going. So I got to wait for a day at the beach with you. Why is it only with this friend though? Don't we have other friends that could go to the beach and on this trip? Why is it just one-on-one? Why isn't this a friend group of 6 or 8? Why aren't more friends going on this trip? Because I'm starting to get the whiff that he's getting that something ain't clean. Something ain't clean. Something is not clean with this whole thing. Because why are you going on this trip with just one friend? Y'all sharing the room, just this one friend. Okay, it's starting to. We need more information. Let me take a page out of shApp. We need more information, lady. And I'm thinking about going over to the green waters today. Now, if y'all are in the Nesto universe, y'all understand what going over to the green waters mean. Be careful. There's lots of things in them green waters and on the sand that could get to your pocketbook. So y'all, please put your unsolicited advice for her there, or for him. He's the one asking for advice. And I'm like, sir, you got to figure out if you really want this relationship. You got to, I would say, go out to dinner with the both of them. Go out to dinner in a group setting and just watch. And as we said, gather the information. Watch and see how they relate to each other. Watch and see how they, move with each other. Because as someone who has a lot of guy friends, I grew up with them. They are more like my siblings than anything. There's a certain way I don't move with them to alleviate any perception of promiscuity, when I'm hanging with them. Also, 24 is very young. You do have other choices and make them. You should know that they're still there. Right. There may be other choices. You're 24, you're young. Both of you are 24. I'm not saying she's cheating, but if you're feeling uneasy, you may have a little bit of intuition. Watch and see how they interact with each other. Exactly. See how they interact. Because you'll know, based on the slope, as the poem say, based on the arch of her back, based on, how she giggles and laughs at his comments, you'll know if she's showing romantic interest in this man. So y'all, please list your unsolicited advice here for him so he'll know how to navigate further. So as we said, we get spicier and spicier. So let's get to number 4. We get to number 4 here. Let me pull it up from my records. Okay. I, a 33-year-old man, caught my girlfriend, a 33-year-old female of 10 years, cheating with me with her boss. I posted about this a while back, but it's taken it down and I accidentally left, some information in the screenshot. So I had to change this. My boss quit his job to avoid any of the drama that came with him hooking up with someone at work and ruining his marriage. So the real issue I'm having with everything that's been going on is the fact that our lives have been going through so much and trying to get where we were before. And, he doesn't have to suffer any consequences. It bothers me all the time. I tried to contact his wife on social media and he blocked me and basically laughed in my face, saying, nice try. I don't have a clue as to how to get into contact with his girl. Here's the kicker. it is a matter of health safety because my girlfriend and I have what? The Hep C. In my opinion, his wife deserves to know that her husband cheated on her and she could possibly have this now. I've tried thinking of ways of getting into contact with her, but I can't think of anything. So he's 33, girlfriend's 33. They've been together since 23. She was cheating on you with her boss, but all you could think of is saving the boss's wife. Hey, Unfiltered Doll Reactions, glad to have you here. Drive safe. So what exactly? So you caught your girlfriend of 10 years cheating with you with her boss. The boss decided to leave the job so he don't have to suffer the consequences. You know when people retire, all of a sudden, people retire. Tanya, be glad to have you here. You just walked in on this, right? You just walked in on this. Lord have mercy. So the boss decided to resign and leave the job so he don't have to feel the consequences. And here you are trying to find his wife to let her know that he been cheating with the coworker and it's your girlfriend. And if she burning, itching, and scratching, it may be because he been cheating with your girl. Sir, I think you need to go handle your business. I understand the need to let all parties know, but the wife gonna handle her business. When she have her annual checkup, she gonna find out. She gonna find out. You can't save everybody. What's going on with you and this girl of 10 years? It sounds like you still with her. It sounds like you still with her and you're more concerned about getting at the boss and ruining his life. Or you're not with her, and because it's ruined your relationship, now you want to ruin his. It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out to his wife. What he doing in the dark at work is gonna come out to his wife. Man, pick up your balls and your ego and let it go. Leave the playground. People usually get out the sandbox, take their toys with them, and go home. That's what you need to do, sir. That's what you need to do. You need to just pick up all your toys and go home. Yes, he wants his lick back. He wants to get back at this girl for getting with her boss. And that ain't your place, sir. I'm sorry to say. That is not your place. Yes, I understand you are hurt. When you join the cast of the Itchy and Scratchy show because you got burnt by your girl. Now you want to go find his wife and tell the wife that she has joined the cast of the Itchy and Scratchy show and she's been casted by your girlfriend through her husband. Leave it alone, sir. You're doing too much. Just Rhonda said, DM all of his friends on social media. She is feeling diabolical today. Girl, no, not DM all of his friends. Well, he gonna have to get another account. I'm not telling him what to do or how to do it. This is not that. He gonna have to find another account and find another way in because I'm sure he is blocketh right now. He wants to get back at the boss by attempting to destroy the boss's marriage. Right. Who's to say the boss's marriage ain't already destroyed? Come on now. Come on now. Dude, focus on you and move the heck on. So what if the boss's marriage is destroyed? Y'all think about this. If your significant other, if your spouse comes home all of a sudden one day and they are not at the job that pays them, aren't you going to have questions? Aren't you going to want to know, why is my husband or wife, why aren't they employed anymore? What happened? Because you don't know. Somebody on the staff could know his wife and say, girl, you don't understand. Your husband, the reason why he didn't get fired, he left because the scandal came out that he and Katie was in the back room. Sorry if there are any Katies in here. I'm sorry if there are any Katies in here. He and Katie was caught bumping uglies in the storage closet. That's why he ain't working at the workplace no more, girl. You don't know if anybody on staff ain't already know and telling his wife exactly why he ain't got a job. My. Yes, Unfiltered Doll. It is something else. It is something else. He ain't tell us. We have questions. We have questions, but him just telling the girlfriend's vitals is against HIPAA law. So, sir, with this posting, you have also probably violated her HIPAA and probably the boss's HIPAA too. But you telling the wife to go get herself tested. So maybe you trying to be nice. You trying to do a good deed. But I'm just saying, he's saying that my girlfriend out here she's spreading and spreading things around, and the wife needs to go get tested. We don't know. Hey, Nestos, Shackle Shuffle, Walk of Shame. Happy Sunday. Glad to have you here. We don't know. But, it's going to come to light. It's going to come to the wife. It don't have to come through your hands, sir. It doesn't have to be through your hands. And I think that's what he is feeling frustrated with. He wants to be the one to tell the wife. Maybe he wants to see everything, explode. He wants to be the one to actually drop the tea. That's the problem. You want to be the one. Yes, nasty and irresponsible at that workplace. See why I keep telling y'all every chat. Y'all see me and I keep telling you I don't talk too much with the folks at work. I don't. Keep to myself. Bless Katie May's heart. Po thing. Katie May, I'm sorry. At least you got to keep your job. At least, that boss that you was carrying on with, he decided to leave the job because, again, he's a supervisor. There's a certain level of power. So he probably could get him the harassment suit. So that's why he skedaddled and left. Katie May is lucky she kept that job, Shaby, because he had to leave. He had to leave. So she kept that good job. I'm assuming the job is good. I'm not thinking, I'm assuming the job is good. Leave it alone. When the wife gets ill, everything will come out anyway. You don't need to do a thing. I think he wants front row tickets to see the fireworks. And 4th of July just happened. And he just won front row tickets to see the fireworks. And he wants to be the one to what? Light the match and set the fireworks off. Sir, you don't have to be. It could be years later. You could be like, oh, I heard about Katie May's boss. You heard about it? His wife left him. She took all the kids, all his money. And he down, I was going to say something. He down making them, what you call it? Them broil bags down there at the Red Lobster. You'll find out later on. You don't need to be the ones to let it go. You don't need to be the one to deliver the news. So y'all, please put your unsolicited advice for him. We done told him, pack up his toys, pack up everything, go about his business, carry on with his life, leave Katie May alone. She still got her job. She gonna be okay. Yes, Shay. There ain't so much I want to say, but can't say. Okay, I can't say in this open and free marketplace of YouTube. If I was behind a member wall, there's so much I can't say other than So y'all, please list your unsolicited advice, and we're about to get a little bit spicier. And I have to say that this was a last minute addition because I was hot because I said if my husband ever tried this, oh no. So this is a 36-year-old female said that her 36-year-old husband, male, is mad that I saved the Wi-Fi password and it's an issue. So we've been married for 12 years now, and he's always had trust issues. Recently, he was adamant that we switch internet providers. The previous account was in my name, and now the current service is in his name. We are needing to connect my phone, so instead of him telling me what the password is, he decides to put it in himself. Cut to a few days later, I needed to connect my laptop, and instead of texting him at work to ask for the password, I just looked at it on my phone's Wi-Fi setting. He texted me, now he's at work, and asked me a bunch of questions because he just got a notification that a new device just connected. I told him that it was me connecting my laptop, and he asked me, how'd you get that password? I told him how, and he got upset. I asked him, why is it a problem for me to know the password? But he ignored me, so I went the petty route and just disconnected everything and told him I won't be using his things anymore. I'll just use my mobile hotspot. Now he's saying I've done enough and I should have asked. Can someone please help me understand why he'd be so upset over something like this? I just don't get it. Hey, let's talk about it all. Glad to see you. Glad to have you here. See, y'all, he want, we've been married how long? I don't get it. We 36. We both 36. We've been married for 12 years. And we just changed service providers. And you don't want me to have the password? And when I do have the password, you asking, how did I get it? What are we doing? 12 years. 12 years. Apparently he's viewing things that he doesn't want her to know about. You mean that history? You mean that history log that he don't want her knowing about because she ain't an administrator? Now that make no sense to me. If y'all part of the Nesto universe, y'all would understand why I say it in that tone. Thank you, Bible lady. Hold on. Just Rhonda says he doesn't like her. Everybody in my house, the Wi-Fi password, 12 years, not another day. I'm out. Everybody in my house know the Wi-Fi password. And they know if it's somebody on the outside coming in, a friend of theirs, you got to ask for the password to be shared with them. I'm not understanding the issue here. Is it an ego where he feels like he needs to provide all the time and he should give her the password himself as it proves he's providing? Mundust Angel, you are such a tender heart. I love it. No. This is not him trying to be a provider and stroke his ego. No, this is just pure controlling. The fact that you tell me, hey, let me put it in for you. What? Trust issues aren't the only issues they have. No, it ain't. He's searching something that he doesn't want her to know about. Yes. What she can do, well, I don't know. Girl, okay, lady. If you still have access, because I know sometimes it takes some time when you end internet service and start another, you can go to the search history for all the devices that was connected to that old internet service plan, if you still have access to it, and you could see, because he probably was looking at it then, and then he got deeper and said, no, I need to control exactly who has access to it. Yes, the Janet Jackson of it all, control. He's trying to be controlling. There is no way. Install some spyware. Bible lady said to install some spyware. Now, we don't know if she has admin. He may have gone all the way, Bible lady, and put in like admin rights to certain things. Like she can't download certain things through that Wi-Fi plan because of, the spyware, it'll have an admin password needed to download just about anything. We don't know. But what we do know is this is fishy. You've been married for 12 years. He done had the password for the previous account that was in your name. Yet here we are. He don't want to share the password. But you making an excuse that he's had trust issues. What has he had trust issues in the past? Now we have questions. Have you, man, been doing crazy stuff on the internet that he now has trust issues with you? And that's why we had to change it. So you don't be all over this great internet doing your own fishy stuff. Now we got to look at the other side, y'all. He could be cutting her off from her doing some fishy stuff on the internet. She should turn on Lifetime. There's probably a documentary about him and his other life, probably. Maybe it's different in the US here. If someone connects to the Wi-Fi, it doesn't alert us at all. Only those who are in the house or very good friends would have access to it anyway. He's childish. Yes, we get alerts, Moondust Angel. Like if my kids, I get an alert, that, stuff went on. But my youngest is 18 now, so I done turned that off. You 18. Control or content, that he's been searching. He's doing a bit much. This marriage has issues. Man, bye. He's doing too much. But is he doing too much because he has trust issues? But where does his trust issues come from? Is he just going off the deep end on his own? Or, ma'am, I got to ask, when we say this about ladies with their husbands, when we talk about this, ladies and their significant other, we say, well, what behavior patterns have been shown that you go this far? So, ma'am, I'm going to ask, what behavior patterns have you shown that he think after 12 years now, he think you probably what? You going around on the, the deep end of the web? Are you going around following certain people, Uncle Clyde out there? Who are you following, and what have you done that he thinks he needs to, come behind you? Hey Samantha, glad to have you here. You're unable to participate. That's fine. We understand. You got moving to do, girl. You got moving to do. We'll see you on the next live. I'll probably do another one Wednesday. Did her having her own internet provider make him feel emasculated? Because if it did, then he needs to get a serious life fast. It's been 12 years though. Why all of a sudden? He hadn't been told to kiss her properly. He ain't been told to kiss her ass. No, he hasn't, JB. I'm sorry. Make me wonder if he's not pulling his weight and he has to control Wi-Fi because that's the bill he pays for. Well, that is a good thought. Unfiltered doll reactions. That's a good thought. He could be. Now, y'all, when you want a good look all over the internet, this is also where I wild out in the chat. Unfiltered doll reactions. Make sure you do go to her channel. And I said what I said. Glad to have you here. If you want current events, crime dramas, all them investigations by them crooked mayors out there, please go to I Said What I Said, and make sure you put that underscore between the I and the last I and said, because that's how you'll find her channel. Unfiltered doll, I think, is that the only bill he paid for? I'm not sure. That's why we have questions. We have questions. Maybe he doesn't want her to know about his OnlyFans account. Maybe, or maybe, like the granddaddy we had in a previous episode, he was all over the OnlyFans. He was paying a whole bunch, but his daughter found out and wanted to find a way how to tell her mama. And we told her mind her business because they're grown. Her parents are grown. Mind her business. So maybe, either he has one or he follows one. Again, I'm thinking on the other side, what made him after 12 years just decide to change it? It could be his behavior, but no one's on my side saying she could have exhibited some behavior. Maybe she all over the OnlyFans looking at people's accounts and stuff, and she, he wanted to tailor what she's been doing. Because if you have trust issues, something happened. Something happened for him to be like 12 years later, 12 years a slave on this internet provider. All of a sudden we changing. We got bigger problems around here if you're wasting time on a Wi-Fi code. I don't have time for this nonsense. Thank you, Shaby. I don't have time for it either. I don't have time for it. I do not. Not at all. Why are we on the OnlyFans account, or why are we hiding and holding on to the Wi-Fi password? Thank you, Elsa, for clarity. That underscore in I Said What I Said channel, because last night I was sitting in the wrong channel looking for it, all because I didn't have the underscore. Bible Lady, we did mention you in her live last night. Someone did mention that you were looking, searching high, low. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough. We knew you were looking for her, and that's why I said it, because I remembered what we said in the chat. Make sure you have that underscore. We said that she had said in her live, the underscore is where you can definitely find her. So yes, Bible Lady, we're gonna see you in the next Truth Teller Squad live. I had no idea you could get all this information from Wi-Fi. Raise your hand if you're an old lady. Well, there is information on there. Back in the day, since I'm, a lady of particular age as well, just Rhonda. Back in the day, remember when they used to send you your telephone bill? And when they sent you your telephone bill back in the day, you used to see all the phone numbers that were called. You can go, if you log into that provider and you go on to, the account, you can look at all of the history of the pages that have been visited through your Wi-Fi. Okay? All of the things listed, you could see that was downloaded thing. You could get the entire history. I think you could get 30 days or 45 days, depending on your provider. Are they still just roommates after 12 years? Now, Nestor Shackle Shuffle Walk of Shame, I don't know. But he don't want to give her the password. Now, I understand if he didn't want to give the teenagers. We ain't heard about kids. We ain't heard about nothing else. But we have an issue when she attached the laptop. But also, lady, I peep you. Lady, I peep you and I peep game. When you asked him for the password, and he asked you for the phone to put it in, you could have just said, well, just put it in on all my devices, please, your tablet, your laptop. But no, you waited. You waited, you looked, you saw what the password was. You probably know exactly where he hid it. And you decided, you decided for the petty route. So I think you decided the petty route before you mentioned it. You decided for the petty route, oh, you don't want to give me the password? I'm going to mess with you while you at work. While you at work, I'm going to log on another device and show you that I got the password. Oh, and I'm going to log on my tablet, and I'm going to log on my Fitbit. I'm going to log on each day a different device and let you know you can't hide that password from me. She said she was petty, y'all. I just know a little petty. I know a little petty, not a whole lot of petty, but I know I would have done that. What did I say? What did Phaedra say to us? What did Phaedra say to us?
I hate to be shady unless I really have to. I hate.
Unless we really have to be shady. We hate to be shady. Baby, I don't have time for Wi-Fi chasing. I'm trying to figure out where our next vacation will be. Please tell it, Bible lady. What crawled up his butt and died? There's no need for this childish controlling behavior. Get a daggone life. Very childish. There's so much more to argue about than this foolishness. There is so much more to argue about than this foolishness. If it's saved on the phone, she got it anyway. Shabby. He don't know though. He don't know. At 36, just Rhonda 01 telling us about, oh, you old or whatever. Rhonda, he is 36 and he don't know that she already got the password censored in her phone. He don't know. So I ain't gonna take that excuse from you again, just Rhonda. He just uninformed. Y'all, please put your unsolicited advice down there, and we're gonna get to the spicy one of the day. This is gonna be the last one for today. I'm trying to keep these lives to as close to 1 hour as possible, for folks. Even though this looks like a long one, I always make sure that it is spicy. Okay? It is spicy. I'm a 30-year-old female, and she's talking about her 31-year-old male boyfriend. Okay? My boyfriend and I have not had intimacy in almost 3 years. Did y'all hear me? She says they have not had any intimacy in almost 3 years. Y'all know I got to say certain words are blocked because of YouTube rules. Okay. So my boyfriend and I have been together for a decade, and we own a house together too. Why are we buying houses and we ain't married? Let me mind my business. Okay. We haven't had intimacy in almost 3 years, and he said it's due to his own self-confidence. We both been losing weight, and he's now lighter than the last time that we were intimate. However, he's still saying he's insecure about how he looks. So I bring it up multiple times, including, is it me? Is it how I look? Does he not fancy me anymore? My fear is that it's actually me, that I'll lose more weight and he'll suddenly want to have it again to realize that it was my weight. In the past couple of years, he's also become a bit of a prude. Okay? Anything intimate related from others or me, he looks like someone has just taken a dump on his dinner plate. The lack of intimacy is getting to me because I feel like an intimacy pest. And even when we were dating, he knew I had a high drive. That has not changed. I was with some friends a couple months ago, and one said, well, how long has it been? And I said, 2 years. At the time, they all looked shocked and assumed the dry spell was actually a couple months. Nothing else is wrong in our relationship. He's very cuddly, verbally says he loves me, holds my hand, kisses it. But now I'm starting to get the ick at the thought of having intimacy because I honestly feel worse than a virgin. The only kisses we have are pecks on the cheeks. I fancy him, and he is the best intimacy I have ever had. So I don't know why he's insecure. Anyway, I've been avoiding posting this because, some of my friends may know who I am and telling, obviously, but it's become something I think about daily. I love him so much. We are best friends, but it's a lack of intimacy that makes me feel insecure. He says he wants children, but if we can't have intimacy for fun, I don't really want to become something transactional just in order to have children and then never touch me again. How do I fix this? I really do not want to end this relationship. Y'all, what do y'all think? The what? The bye? We boyfriend. We ain't married. We boyfriend and girlfriend. 3 years. Yes. Mm, mm. Already done. 3 years. Peace. Gone. Yes. It gets spicy around here. I'm lots of the emojis. I'm not responsible for your insecurities. Boy, bye. The unfiltered doll reaction said, ED, I bet. Ooh, ooh. He broke up with her 3 years ago, and he don't know how to tell her leave because remember, they boyfriend and girlfriend. They're boyfriend and girlfriend. And they just bought a house together. He might be creeping. He might be creeping at that gym. Let me not say too much. It's a worm, sis. It's not working. Child, you're a beard. Ooh, okay. Unfortunately, unless he's willing to see a doctor or specialist about this quite ridiculous behavior, you may have no choice but to leave. And I know you think you don't want to leave, but you need to. Boo, and turn to your battery operated boyfriend. We like Bob around here. We do like Bob. Now, 2 Fridays ago, we had a long conversation about battery operated boyfriends because it usually comes up in unsolicited advice where people have to turn to a Bob in order to reach the promised land. We talk about the promised land here. That's what we call it. So we stay within the YouTube algorithm and we talk about the big O as the land of Oz. Because what? The word Oz starts with a capital O. So it says for 3 years, after 30 days and no explanation, I would have checked out. People need to stop trying to fix others and find what works for you. I am not a maintenance person. Why is she calling him her boyfriend? He's a housemate. Ooh, a housemate with benefits? Call Roseanne. You know, just Rose and Anne. I'm going to call her Anne. Anne, go get your Rose and become Roseanne, okay? I'm not in the fixing business. Try Jesus for repairing and healing. And fixing, I'm out. He's got that spreadable package. Thank you, Shapey. That was a good one. I had this experience in my previous marriage and it was hellish. No intimacy of any kind for 2 years. He didn't want the right kind of intimacy. Turned out he had been gay and hiding in a marriage. Now, we could talk about lavender marriages on our next Unscripted, which is usually Fridays at 5 o'clock. We could talk about lavender. That could be our first topic. Thank you, Moondust Angel. I'm glad you have risen and gotten out of that marriage. This young lady, though, is not in a marriage, but what they can do is certainly sell that house, or he could buy out her portion of that house. But why are we buying a house with someone we're not married to? Yes, thank you, Bible Lady, a lavender marriage. Why are we buying a house with someone we're not married to? And he said, y'all are together for a decade. Y'all know about me and my timelines. I know it ain't for you. But my timeline, if after 5 years you haven't even hinted at marriage, you haven't even 5 years, maybe after the first 2. If I ain't met your family and all, I'm looking both ways before I cross the road. I'm looking both ways because I don't need to be here and waste time. Precious baby making time. Lady, you are 30. Get it together and move on. You also losing weight? I know you getting snatched. You getting looking good. Your market share and market value is going through the roof. You do not need to take this for no 3 years. And as someone said, you don't need to take this for 30 days. Well, actually, you ain't been taking it. You ain't been getting it. And that's the problem. What you need to do is make sure, continue with your gym, continue with your weight loss journey, and forget him. Figure out how y'all going to divide that house up and get to stepping in the right direction for your life. Don't sit around. 3 years? 3 years. After 3 days, 3 weeks, we gonna have a serious talk. Because you ain't stepping up. I'm glad it's over, but this girl needs to smell the Kenko coffee and realize it's never going to happen for him. He needs to be left alone to wallow in whatever is wrong with him, and she needs to leave. I hope y'all ain't going to the same gym, but there are gyms all over, so you definitely can find another gym. Bible Lady says, I'm in the Rainbow Coalition and I need to know within 2 weeks. I know you know. Bible Lady, I know. Actually, you 2 weeks, 2 weeks, y'all living together. The thrill is gone, sis. Move on. The thrill is gone. And it could be he is losing weight. And some people, when they do lose weight, let's be a little sympathetic. When they do lose weight, if it is a substantial amount of weight, extra, skin and stuff like that, they aren't tightening as they would like to. They can, feel it. But again, sir, there are many different ways to the promised land. If you don't wish to get there using your equipment, there's other things that, certainly can be used within this consenting adult relationship to get her to the promised land. You gonna have to show up and show out. You may not, even if it's an ED situation, then you need to see a medical provider. Even if it's an ED situation, you could still help your girl get to the promised land because you can lead her. You can certainly lead her without using your own equipment. Okay? Okay. We're showing up on the first date with a U-Haul. Bible Lady, I know. I know. I know. I know. Lift that stomach and give her some loving. He don't have to lift that stomach and give her some loving. There is lots out there. Y'all, again, in the last live, we talked about going with your partner to the adult toy store and y'all could figure out what, y'all could use. If you do need him to lift that stomach, like Unfiltered Doll Reaction said, then yeah. So he could just lay back and you could just sit down and he can handle business. Just say what? That's all he got to do. If you really love someone, you could look past all of that. True. You certainly true. So true. His mouth is working. Yes. Yes. What that mouth do, sir? What does it do, sir? What it do? What it do? Well, what's wrong? See, everybody's saying there is other ways. The body and anatomy, there are several parts of your body you can certainly use to make sure that she reaches the promised land and the land of Oz, which is not a land to make believe to many of us. Sir, you got to put in work. You got to think outside the box. You're only 30. Y'all are only 30. What are y'all not doing in your 20s? 20s are for learning, experimenting, exploring within consent. What are y'all doing? What are you not doing in your 20s that you end up here at 30? I really don't understand why people write on unsolicited advice and stuff, communicating and seeking counseling. To go to Africa, they should. There are people at the bottom. I mainly get a lot of this from Reddit, but there are some things on Instagram, on the gram, that I pull and put out there and type for y'all. But most of this is Reddit. There are people there that do say counseling. They tell them some really good information. But some people are there for the petty. Some people are there for the petty. And if they put their real names and not just an open user thing, ooh, their friends are all even coming there. And I'm just taking the small ones. There's a plethora. On a daily, it's probably over 100 people posting there on a daily to go to Africa. Okay? Yeah. Bible Lady. Yep. The mouth and the right fingers plus a G and a spot. He could rock her world forever. Bible Lady, you may need to teach him, get the class session together and teach him. They're wasting time, both of them. Yeah, she is wasting time. And the fact that her friends clutch their pearls, because they know her. She said, hey, they probably thought it was a couple months, but they knew something was wrong, because if the friend said, how long has it been? Your friend looked at you and said, something's off with you. Something's off. So let's start there first. How long has it been? She said 2 years at the time. And now we on to, so your friend told you that last year and you still ain't made a change. Man, what's going on? Y'all been together a decade. Y'all been together a decade. Okay? Y'all been together a decade. And your friend told you a year ago what's going on. You told him 2 years and you still here a year later? Ma'am, when you had that conversation with your friends, you should have left. That's what you should have done. That's what you should have done. You should have left. But you decided not to leave. You decided to stay. But again, a year later, hey Mimi, glad you are here. We're talking about these people in their 30s. It's been almost 3 years since she had any intimacy from her partner. 3 years. They've been together a decade. They are living together. They bought a house together, but they ain't married. Okay. Mm. It's time for sis to get stretched out and tossed around. That stomach, a couch stopper, and keep him from moving your entire soul. Well, we need to make sure before she slap it, flip it, and rub it down, we got to make sure we have consent because that might hurt, Shaby, the way you're saying it. We definitely can get there without the girth, sir. Get it together for the next woman or man. He's lying to her. He may not be attracted to her anymore for some reason. See, that's it, Miss Mad About Music. He could be. He had that gym. He probably seeing, other people getting, snatched. And he may think that his market value is above hers because she did say he has lost more weight than her. So he may be thinking he's finer than her right now. And that she is a lower market tier that he should be associated with. But he don't know how to tell her. So he looking around, feeling around at the gym. I'm just saying. Oh no, 3 years? No, way too long. I know it's a desert. Girl, at the 2 year mark, her friends were like, oh hell no. But she still stayed for a whole other year. A whole other year. You should not waste your good years on someone that is not working for you. The clock is ticking. Right, she's 30. And all he said, he want to have kids. So she's afraid that you want to have kids, that you only going to be bumping uglies for procreation and not for recreation. Lady, I think this weight loss thing is part of it, but he may have been showing signs before this. You've been together a decade. You told me for the last 3 years the well has run dry on his end. I think he looking fine. I think he probably, we can't play music around here. But, I would start playing Stevie Wonder's Lately. Lately, I've been having this funny feeling. Because you're wearing different perfume. He probably wearing different cologne, different clothes, combing his hair different. Because he done lost a lot more weight than you. Maybe he changed his wardrobe. His behavior habits have changed. I think he on the market for something else or someone else, and he may have found someone else. Sound like these couples who get the geriatric sleep together. I hear some nightmares about that. Yeah, because sometimes they get their weight loss journey and they depart. They go their separate ways because someone think that they are cuter than the other, and they could certainly get a better market value out there on their arm. So either the man leaves because he think he looking good, smelling good, and he, got his chest together, his chesticles is standing up. And she may be like, I'm snatched. I look like I got a natural BBL. I've been working out, working it and tucking it together. And then I think I could get somebody better because I don't need to be with you anymore. If you ain't paying and you ain't paying for everything, I can certainly find somebody. I can find a higher beneficiary. I can find a higher sponsor than the one I have now. Yes. Sometimes they do that. Not another Tamar husband. Mimi, you said it. But you see, the difference was Tamar was looking good at the time. But this one, she is becoming her inner Tamar. She's becoming her Tamar. But this one, he has lost more weight than her, she said. She said it. And now he's saying it's because of him, the whole, it's not you, it's me. I don't think I believe him. But y'all, what is your unsolicited advice for this couple? I know I missed it last week. I was doing Project Runway. I was doing the last episode of Somebody's Son. I did that recap last week Tuesday. So I'm also doing Match Me Abroad with actually Aubrey, which is going to be about 6:00 this evening. We're going to move it to Tuesdays, but I will do my unsolicited advice. I will do this unsolicited advice, back to 2 times a week until we get to Project Runway, which is July 31st. When Project Runway starts, we're going to have to go back down to once a week because we're going to be live for Project Runway. Doing a live recap of Project Runway. Going to talk about the challenge, and we're going straight to the designs, and we're going to give our opinion on that. But yeah, y'all, this is unsolicited advice. If you have any unsolicited advice, y'all know my IG is right there. If y'all have a story you want to send me for us to talk about, we have done that before. We have looked in the past. Folks have sent me things for unsolicited advice. We also have unscripted on Fridays at 5. It's whatever the chat wants to talk. Whatever the chat wants to talk about on Friday. That's how we ended up with battery operated boyfriends. That's how we ended up with that chat two unscripteds ago. We talk about whatever you want to talk about on Friday evenings. Bring your imagination. We gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it. I'm so happy that I was able to catch you live. Love it here. Love to have you here, Bible lady. So glad you are here. We are here. We usually chat. This was actually a mild moment. This is a mild moment. Just you and me. My husband said the biggest lie ever told. Y'all, my husband was listening in on one of the other lives I was listening to, and he had a lot to say. I was like, you better get your own channel. But yes, glad you are here. All of you guys that are new here. I usually do this Sundays at noon and one day in the week, usually Wednesdays about 5. Fridays at 5 o'clock is unscripted. We have Alone. I post that video on Saturday mornings, which is a survivalist show. And Meet the Designers. If I had everybody who watched my Meet the Designers subscribe, I would reach my first goal of 500 subscribers. I have over 500 plus views on that video, which is absolutely wonderful, remarkable. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. Ear hustlers, my husband is definitely that. Thank you, Bible lady. Subscribe and notifications on. What channel is well, the channel for Project Runway is Freeform, which you can get on YouTube TV and other cable channels. You could also see it on Hulu and Disney Plus. Those are the 3. If you don't know, I have a post on my community wall. And just for great form, y'all know I love this. Let me give you the 10-second clip that I love that I broke down for Law Roach, the image architect from Project Runway.
Image architect, Law Roach.
You ready?
Oh, I hated it.
Hate is such a big word.
It's a short word. It's only 4 letters. Bravo, my love. Love tears. They feed me.
I love tears. They feed me. Yes, I do. I do a lot of shorts. I make sure I do a short a day. Thank you. I said what I said. I do a short a day. So from that wonderful video that everybody is watching from Meet the Designers, I'm doing a short every other day. I just did the Ethan short. I did a Joseph short. There are 12 designers. So until the show starts on the 31st, every other day, I'm going to be putting out a short about that. I have over the 4,000 views, which would be you need for monetization. The 4,000 hours. I just need the participation of the crowd to subscribe to be monetized. I have over the 4,000 watch hours. Everybody's watching, but folks are not hitting that subscribe button. And I need y'all to participate in that. Those who have subscribed, I appreciate it. I am thankful for this family that we have here. And you know what? I actually will be on later at 6 o'clock talking about Match Me Abroad, where Americans go to international countries to find love. That will be about 6:30. And I do it in conjunction with actually Aubrey podcast. And we talk about it. You just finished eating. You're going to Burlington now. Ooh, hopefully we'll get a field trip. Unless your battery is low. Okay. But glad to have y'all here. I will schedule the next unsolicited advice for this week. And since you have your notifications on, you will know when I'm going live. Glad to have you here. Yep. Thank you, Shabi. Help me get that subs up. I got the watch hours. Don't tell your dang business. It wasn't behind the member wall. And if they start going to your channel, which they should, they'll know we talk about the low batteries. Okay. But thank y'all for being here. It has been great fun. I'll see you on the next.